Good afternoon, and thank you for being here today. I'm coming from the lens of finance, the lens of money, which is actually a foundational component in our world. And what is interesting in this particular situation is how technology is creating a new landscape in financial services and our interactions with money. So basically, when we talk about technology, it's all around putting a new space of new knowledge, and we constantly learn. It's around understanding where technology fits within our society, when it fits within our interactions with money, it fits within how we interact with financial services and having access. It's all around thinking how regulation and compliance is going to change, because let's not forget, financial services is a very highly regulated and heavily regulated industry. But at the same time, it's all around thinking what kind of new business models, what kind of innovations are needed, and what kind of new ventures exist. One of the key things we need to remember is the fact that technology requires data. And when we talk about financial services, we're looking into an enrichment of data. We're looking into new ways of interacting with the way financial services operate, the way we actually think about money. Thinking about how each transaction we make using money, it opens up a new data revolution, because it augments the way financial institutions or ourselves understand how people think, how people behave, what are their purchasing powers. So the magnitude of big data, analytics, connect, they bring together a new understanding, but it also opens up new doors for thinking. It brings together areas which are technically fragmented or technically not associated. Questions around ethics, questions around sound governance, questions around protection of the environment, questions around protection of human beings from scams, and I'm going to talk a little bit later on that. Thinking around responsible use of money and responsible use of financial services. So the deeper dive we make through technology, that creates doors which are positive, but also creates numerous challenges. One of the things we need to remember is that the money that you probably have on your pockets don't exist anymore. So philosophically, we're moving from vaults of cash to vaults of data. And we also move to an open finance conundrum, which is also driven by AI in discussions around programmable money. So basically, the money that you think you've got in your pocket, in your mobile phone, in your bank, is it actually owned and controlled by you? So these kind of intersectional dynamics, which bring technological, societal, economic, ethical, cultural factors, are major questions seeking answers nowadays. So there is a massive sensitive balance between, do we still want to live in a cash-driven economy or an economy driven by data that someone needs to understand and deploy? There is a massive societal chasm, and that's something that economies around the world are looking into this, thinking around inclusivity, thinking around the ethical dimensions of AI, thinking around the way AI can change the way we think and interact with money, but also what kind of digital footprints we leave on the internet, on our purchasing behavior, on whatever we do, and someone actually collects this data, reads this data, and helps analyze better to understand us as financial entities, but also as human people. So the morality of money, the morality of monetary policies will be more and more augmented using AI in the future. But again, the human intervention is also very critical to ensure that access and responsible way of using AI in the notion of money is critical. The way that I try to understand technology in financial services, I look at it from multiple dimensions, because it is such a multidimensional concept. And we look into the notion of artificial intelligence, the way business and human rights operate, the way risk and compliance occurs in this AI machine human interaction, what kind of strategy organizations are using, but at the same time bringing the notion of ethical dimensions, thinking around global challenges, financial inclusion, access to equitable finance, thinking of way that we reduce algorithmic bias and increasing algorithmic fairness. and also what is the value of our society. Big questions which currently we're all working to understand more. I must say that none is expert on AI. We're all learning, and we're constantly thinking around this interconnectedness between the humanity and the machine. And I perfectly accept that we're very much scratching the surface across numerous of these areas. And because finance is such a foundational component of our society, because money is such a big, big component of how we live, how we operate, how we breathe, you cannot do anything if you don't have money, if you don't have ability to transact. How is this changing? It's simply very, very difficult to perfectly visualize and imagine. But the notion of AI is changing quite a lot, and that's why we need to bring together different perspectives closer. Another very, very important thing is that AI will make humans vulnerable to a certain extent. And why this is happening? It will happen if we don't put in place specific vehicles around regulation, around compliance, around data privacy, around the understanding of humanities and the social dimension, coming together with the business dimension, consumer protection, but also really understanding of the fact that new laws and new policies are required to ensure a transition to an era of digital economy, of digital money, an era where the interaction with financial services is not simply through a teller or through a building, but is simply through any kind of means. So basically, transacting with money can become anywhere, everywhere, across platforms and across places and locations that you probably never have thought of in the past. Some key aspects that AI can help, and technology can help in general, is to understand us more. Understand us as consumers to develop and deliver more personalized financial services. So personalization, I think, is going to become a very critical component, but making sure that financial inclusivity is there, financial literacy is needed, and also democratization of finance is necessary. ESG compliance and reporting, that's another foundational aspect in relation to supporting environmental, social, governance, and ethical dimensions of money. Morality of money, it's very, very critical. Responsible use of innovation in financial services is foundational. Positive impact for society. I think we all need that, and we have seen a lot that financial services can do to support, to fuel money, to create new infrastructures, new ways of living, bring also the notion of transparency, bring the notion of staying away from bias, from discrimination in credit scoring, privacy concerns. There has been some things of this in the news today with a major insurance company. Risk management and financial crime. Technology has always two faces, the face of the positive, but also the face of the challenge or the negative. So technology also brings financial crime, brings scams, brings different layers of illicit activities. And finally, geopolitical dynamics. We live in a world where interconnectedness among nations and countries is foundational. So rooting this kind of cross-border interactions, cross-border transactions, thinking around how different jurisdictions think and operate is very, very critical as well. But AI is not only done by itself. There is an ecosystem of components that are required, from artificial intelligence to generative AI, to think around consumer behavior, thinking around regulation, thinking around big data analytics, and also thinking around new forms of finance through distributed systems such as blockchain and the likes. So you see how complicated and interrelated these kind of components are that create a magnitude of challenges, but a magnitude of opportunities to better think and understand how finance will operate for us and for social good. So the key aspect here is the finance for social good and the AI-driven finance for social good. I'm going to leave you with a couple of thoughts that I'm still reflecting also through my teaching, my research, and I think also the previous speakers really created this connection between humans and different kinds of dimensions. And in this particular scenario, it's the humans with finance and money. This pivotal convergence of technologically financial services, I think it opens up a magnitude of nuanced implications that we're still trying to understand and comprehend. It opens up new means of repositioning, bringing together a multidisciplinary perspective such as international relations, economy, finance, ethics, geopolitics in this nexus that is emerging. And I think AI can help converging all this data together. Unfortunately, advents of voice cloning, deepfake technologies that we have seen in the news quite a lot are going to proliferate more. Financial scams are going to potentially create an existential threat to the financial humanity, if I may use that word, but that will also open doors for more research and more thinking on the ethical implications, which still remain unanswered. But that also requires specific thinking to make sure that we as people, we as humanity, we as financial entities are also protected. AI-powered scams, again, very complicated topic. I'm sure all of us have received weird messages, have received weird emails. Lots of things are happening around the globe. So continuous adaptation to even think around, am I talking to a bot? Am I talking to a real person? Am I talking to a cloned voice of a bank? Am I logging into a real banking website, or it's a cloned website that is behind its scammers? These are creating a new reality that we have to live and adapt. Balancing innovation in monetary policy and protection of individual freedoms. I think that's a foundational topic, especially in relation to the programmable money. Money that is actually being driven by AI, money that is being controlled by AI, bringing together also areas of health, of your digital footprint, your behavior. How are these controlled, and who is actually deciding about all that? What if, for example, in one day you may see all the money you've got in your bank being distributed by AI, saying that you're too rich, people are dying, people need money. Why do you need to have all this money in your bank account? We'll just distribute it. Who decides about that? Or, for example, you are actually going to pay you're going to pay something, and you'll say, I'm sorry, you can't travel twice back to Europe because of your environmental footprint, and that's exactly the kind of data we see. Or you may want to go out and have a drink and say, I'm sorry, but currently today, your heart rates based on your Apple Watch data transmission are so high, we are not going to allow this transaction to occur. This might sound as a virtual reality, but believe me, this is exactly where the programmable nature of money is coming in, and this is where the data that AI and generative AI is going to deploy further are happening. And finally, that's my final point for today, is I think the human rights implications and deployments are very, very critical. And really, we need to ensure that we need to have a responsible equilibrium. We need to ensure that finance remains integrated with other industries, remains the foundational machine for interaction, for transactions, for ability to still access in an equitable, safe, secure, and humanistic manner. Thank you so much.